magicians are the only group of professionals in the world that lie to you and are honest about it.
Here's a little trick with 4 ordinary wooden rings. The fellow had an ordinary handkerchief, and he put this handkerchief in his right-hand pocket.
Your audience goes in to a theater with the understanding that they're going to be fooled, that they're going to see something that's not real. And they're saying, bring it on, show me.
He's up to his hanky-hanky tricks again. And by the way, customers, all the tricks are Ericsson, honest engine.
Some people want to have that moment of regression where they recapture that childlike wonder that we all had when we were kids.
Right up on top of the bird, and your other hand on the front of the cage, and your other hand on the back of the cage.
Wait a minute, I could do that.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm terribly sorry.
Why didn't you all tell me that this was going to happen? Would you do that again for us? Where is it?
That's what all the girls say.
And I said...
When people watch a magic trick, they tend to fall into one of two categories. Some people think they really, really want to know how the trick is achieved. It's like a puzzle and it just really annoys them not knowing. The other group just don't want to know. They enjoy the magic.
David Copperfield is always upping the ante. But there are always rivals.
There's another magician who does similar things, who's still doing these things, like Franz Harary, who vanished the Taj Mahal. And that's wonderful stuff, but it does take a lot of swallowing.
To me, size matters. And I think that where people balk at the idea of trying to make something that is a fix, like a building or architecture or a mountain, disappear, well, I think we live in an age where people take it for granted. Look, the Taj Mahal is not going to disappear. It's not moving. Even if you got all the permissions and paperwork, you're not taking it anywhere. But it is conceivable that it could become invisible.
We invited Franz Harary to perform a new illusion for this program. It promises to be the biggest disappearance ever on British soil.
How's the hair? Is the hair good?
Yep.
Hair's good? Okay, good. I'm obviously here in London. That would be the Tower Bridge. And the reason I'm here is for the past 15 years or so, I've made a pretty good name for myself doing mega magic or mega illusions. A couple of years ago I made the Taj Mahal disappear. Before that it was the space shuttle. It's sort of become my thing. And I thought the Tower Bridge is such a universal icon. It is so emblematic of England that it'd be great to do something with this. Here it is. Ta-da! So what I did is I called 3 friends of mine who I've known forever. And whatever happens or wherever it goes, they're going to be right there with me.
I know we talked about doing something that's very gritty here, like we get passers-by.
We're doing it for a certain amount of people in a certain location. The illusion will not happen for everybody in London. It will only be for people at that location.
Most illusions are over in the blink of an eye, but all rely on careful planning and a plausible setup.
All right, let's get everything out of here. I don't want to break it. Yeah. You know what, guys? We're going to need a hell of a lot more space than this. Once you understand the formula, once you get the formula, and more importantly, the psychology, it doesn't matter if you know the secret or not, because beyond that, your brain is still going to mistranslate what it sees. I can tell you that we're going to use a certain amount of geometry, a certain amount of loss of depth perception, and a certain amount of color relationship.
This is a mirror. These are common in bathrooms in the United States.
You got your kick right there. Good. I think a little deductive reasoning will tell you we're not going to slide a giant mirror in front. But if you think about it, the geometry of human vision tells you that the further an object is away, the smaller it becomes in relationship to the rest of your environment. So without giving it away to you, the mirror may not need to be, 20 stories tall,
Making something appear to disappear is the key to the success of a big-scale illusion.
I think vanishing the Statue of Liberty is still one of the most talked about illusions in modern-day television magic.
We constructed 2 scaffolding towers on Liberty Island in front of the statue, and had a helicopter to give an aerial view of the illusion.
David asked me, what do you think about this? I'm going to do the Vanishing Statue of Liberty. And I said, well, Dave, I don't know whether you should do. I mean, it's right in the middle of New York. People are all around, and maybe they'll see it vanish on the television show, but they're not going to see it vanish for real with all these people around all the time.
I didn't like the Statue of Liberty vanish. It didn't mean anything to me. I sum it all up by my dad when I called him up and said, are you going to watch Copperfield vanish the Statue of Liberty tonight? My dad said, well, you know he's not going to vanish the Statue of Liberty. I think that's everything right there.
Of course these things aren't really happening. The whole thing is a fantasy that there's a person called a magician who can create these wonders, and that you're there the night that it happens to happen, the night where everything is wonderful, and you've seen this miracle.
It was an interesting project, and we built it right here at our shop, and it was a monumental piece, as you can imagine.
Magic works on the level of a human being. So normally, if one actually created a stage around the Statue of Liberty and performed that, the magician would be lost. The magician would be an insignificant part of that. But now on television, David Copperfield was able to frame himself in the foreground, frame the statue in the background, keep everything in focus, and keep everything part of the same image. And so for the first time, a large illusion like that was actually feasible and could be performed and could be presented with the same analogies of classic magic. One of the things that's come out of television magic is an understanding that audiences are quite sophisticated about what they're watching. I think what they understand is that they're watching a master magician and a masterful optical illusion that he's created, that he's mastered, and he's presenting to you.
That is the suspension of disbelief that I'm asking for my audience to buy into. I'm not saying, look, I'm going to make Buckingham Palace vanish. It's not going to disappear. But it is possible that to your reality, for a brief moment, however long it may be, I can make it appear that it has been visible.
All right, let's do it. Now.
And the bottom line is, what you see becomes your reality.
Clearly no illusion will work unless there's an audience there to see it. Franz Harary's next step is to decide where his illusion will be viewed from.
I think you and I need to go downstairs and check out in here.
What we figured out is we're going to have to triangulate off of the bridge itself. And what that means is that somewhere out there is going to be our point of the triangle where the illusion is going to be affected.
Okay. We'll see what it looks like with the laser.
Unless you've got some great location from the gods, I think this is our spot. What do you find over there?
Yeah, it looks pretty good from over here. Very clear view of the tower.
I'm going to come over to your side and see what we got, all right?
In order to figure out our the exact angle of our equipment for the illusion to be performed, we're going to have to triangulate with a beam of light, a laser beam actually, from location, and bounce it off 2 points from the bridge itself.
Okay. I think we're going to have the mirror come back a little bit more.
All right. Well, this is cool.
This is it.
So let's say we set everything up right over here,
okay.
Right?
Okay.
We place our lock right over there, and this kind of becomes our zone here. Our audience's field of vision for this illusion is going to be somewhat narrow, in fact, really narrow. So we need to be pretty accurate where I'm going to be and where our audience is going to be.
Right, so what we need to do is we need to see if we can hit that first mirror on the south, well, near the south tower.
All right, let's do it.
Laser test number 1.
Rock and roll.
Here we go.
Live the dream. Oh! Hey, that sucks, huh? The idea here was that with a single laser and 3 points, we would be able to triangulate the exact location, which we're real close.
I have a suggestion. I think to get a more definitive point of reference, I think we may want to just switch back to the old method.
You want to use real old-fashioned surveying equipment?
Well, it'd be more reliable than this right now.
Most people assume that they're fairly sophisticated observers, that they're very good at noticing what's going on around them. But in fact, that's not the case. We make assumptions all of the time. We're not as sophisticated as we like to believe we are. So in our heads, when we see a magic trick, we think, wow, this must involve mirrors and lasers and all sorts of sophisticated technology, because you'd require that to fool somebody as clever and as observant as my good self.
Magicians have often taken general scientific ideas and suggested very openly to their audience that that's how they're using these things, when in fact the method is something perhaps much more basic or totally different.
What a magician is doing is just showing us how many assumptions we're making on an everyday basis.
Optical conjuring aside, there is no doubt that 21st century audiences continue to hunger for miracles.
Listen, we're gonna drop off Doug and Seth.
It's the day of Franz Harary's illusion. Although Tower Bridge may have stood undisturbed for 110 years, today may be different.
Doug, you there? I'm here, bud. It's showtime.
You got a whole thing?
Yep.
You can see Doug and Seth on either one of those caissons. We found our triangle, and this is pretty much what's going to determine where our kind of zone of the illusion, of the effect is going to be. It gives us about somewhere between 20 and 30 feet. The only thing we're missing is an audience.
Ultimately, magic is all about the effect on the audience. It's about creating a moment of wonder in the audience's mind.
That is really where the magic occurs. It occurs in the minds and the expressions of the people watching. And that also becomes the prover to the home audience that what they're watching is real.
Hey guys, come on over, I want to show you something. You guys got a moment? Come with me, I want to show you something. How old are you?
13.
13, you married? No? Okay, sure. This is, you know what this is, right? I'm going to see if I can't do a little magic with this pendant. Now to do it, I'm going to need some magic words.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra is good. A little blow. Check this out. Go on. You can go back to your folks there. I'm going to try to do this one more time with a different bridge. Thanks, Fry. All right, Doug and Seth, you good?
I'm good, Franz. I'm waving the flag and I'm on my mark.
Looks beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. You're about to see something amazing. I hope. The count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God!
That looks fine. That look good?
Yeah, it looks good. We got it, guys. Rock and roll.
Fly away, Peter, fly away, Paul. Come back, Peter, come back, Paul. We all saw that little trick as children. We're all born with a sense of wonder, and it gets knocked out of us pretty early in the game. The secret of all great magical performance is to reawaken that sense of wonder. It can be a very powerful experience.
1, 2, 3.
Jeez.
When we do little jokes about stuff in our show being dangerous, it's always jokes. And the people who are selling real danger are people that I don't want as my friends. We're not doing that big swinging dick thing of, I don't know if I'm going to live or I'm not going to live. Because if you're coming to our show because we might get hurt, fuck you. Go to NASCAR. Drop dead. We don't want you. You're a pig.